Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play the entirety of this video without any interruption, and then I'll go back and talk about things that are going on to explain better what's going on and talk about things that I think that were done right and or done wrong. Without further ado, here we go.
This critical incident community briefing will provide you with information about a triple murder and fatal police-involved shooting that occurred in the 7500 block of Maury Road on May 8th, 2021. You're about to see body-worn camera video and hear 911 and police dispatch communications so you have a better understanding of what occurred. A word of caution, the images and information you're about to see may be disturbing.
Baltimore County, 911, what's the address of the emergency? I have this nearby Kelly's Court and Campwell Road.
Yes, and actually the Kelly's Court address is closer to where something is going on. It jarred me out of bed, somebody banging in somebody's front door, and then I just heard 3 gunshots. I see a man standing in the door posed with a weapon in his hand, and I don't know what he did to get in there because it jarred me out of bed, and I'm about 3 or 4 doors down.
Okay, and just give me that location again to make sure I have it correctly.
My address is... You can't miss it when you come up the street, though, because, like I said, I don't know what he did to get in there. I was sound asleep, and it just jarred me out of my bed.
Yes, ma'am. Can you give me a description of him?
I couldn't see him from here.
Couldn't see him.
Once I saw him with the gun, and I came back in the house and locked my door.
Okay. Well, we do got a calling system for that. We got help on the way there, okay?
Okay.
All right.
I hear you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Because I hear somebody screaming now. A woman screaming.
And your name, ma'am? All right, and Miss, what phone number you calling me from? Okay, do you see anything else, ma'am?
I closed my door.
Okay.
I can't look out there. I just...
And how many shots did you hear, ma'am?
I think 3.
And okay, yeah, 'cause we got several calls in there for that.
And I think it is a house. There's a house where the man has signs all over his house that the FBI is after me, and we've known for years that he has a mental health problem. And I think that is the house.
Okay.
Signs all over his truck and on the front of his house. But he's never been trouble in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. But I did just hear 3 gunshots and somebody screaming. I don't know what he did to break that door down because it shook my whole house.
Okay. All right, because we do got help on the way there, ma'am, okay? Just keep your doors and windows locked, okay?
Okay. There's
all right.
2 more gunshots.
Okay, yeah, we got the fire department to help on the way, okay?
Okay.
All right.
More gunshots. Sounds like he's just shooting up the block.
Yes, ma'am. They're on their way, okay?
Okay.
All right. Baltimore County. What is the address of the emergency?
Hold on, man. Hello?
Baltimore County 911. What is the address of the emergency?
We just had a house blow up, and the house next to it is on fire. It's on
a house.
Road.
A house exploded?
Yes.
Okay, what's the address?
We don't know.
Okay, what's the closest intersection?
Fairbrook and Johnny Cake Road.
What street is the house on?
Murray Road.
Murray Road?
Murray Road, yes.
All right,
yes.
Take a deep breath for me, okay?
Oh, my gosh, all we heard was pop, and then the house blew up.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
And Murray Road, what's the closest intersection where the house is located?
Kelly's Lane.
Kelly's Lane?
House. Yes.
Okay, take a deep breath, okay?
I'm sorry, it's Kelly's Court. Kelly's Court and Murray Road, and the second house is on fire. I'm so sorry, but the house is burning really bad.
Okay, take a deep breath for me, okay?
And there's one guy who lives in there. Oh, my God. We don't see him.
All right, and just repeat that intersection back to make sure that I have it correct.
We heard the gun. We heard gunfire.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is... I just so happen to be in the house. I just so happen to...
Okay, Miss, I need you to listen to me for 1 second. I know you're upset, but I need to get information from you.
Okay.
I want to make sure that I heard you. You said you heard gunfire and then a house exploded and it's on fire.
Yes. And there's a victim on the ground. We've got a victim on the ground shot.
Okay.
We got a victim on the ground.
Okay.
A female, and she's got blood all in front of her.
Okay. Is she breathing?
I don't know. She's just lying on the ground.
Okay.
It doesn't look like she's moving. She's not moving.
Okay. We got help. We got a lot of help coming to you, okay? What's the phone number that you're calling from?
My daughter's phone number,
Okay.
it's the gas. Oh.
And do you see anybody with the gun?
There's a man people. There's gunfire. We got gunfire. With the guy who's living in the house.
Miss, I need you to get to safety right now.
We're in the house.
Miss, I need you to get in the house, close the door, and duck below the windows.
He blew up his house.
I understand that he blew up his house, but I need you to get to safety right now.
Oh, my God. He shot the baby.
He shot the baby?
He shot a lady, and then he came back out shooting again, and he's still holding a gun.
Okay, what race is the man that's holding the gun?
The guy who lives in the house that blew up.
Is he black, white, Hispanic, or Asian?
I'm sorry, what you say?
Is he black, white, Asian?
He's a black male.
Black male?
In his probably in his late 50s.
Late 50s?
And he holds a gun in his hand, and he's wearing all black, and he's standing in front of his house while it's burning.
Okay. Now listen, how many victims do you see on the ground out there, Miss?
Yes, there's a lady laying on the ground by a car, and she's not moving.
Okay.
The police is here.
The police are there?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and disconnect and talk to the officers, okay?
I can't. He's shooting at the police.
He shot the cop?
He shot at the police.
Okay.
Oh, God, I can't stand by my window. He's shooting at the police. He shoot. The smoke got He shot at the police. Oh, God.
Okay.
They shot him.
They shot the man?
Yes. The cop
Okay.
did.
Okay.
He acts like he's down. He still shoots. I'm sorry. I got to get away from my window. The
Okay.
house is burning up really bad.
Okay.
Oh, God.
I need you to stay in safety, okay? Are you below the windows?
Yes. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I need you to take a deep breath, okay? Is anybody in your home injured?
No, we're fine.
Okay.
We're fine. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, how many victims do you see on the ground?
Thank you for getting help here. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome, ma'am. Take a deep breath, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
226, 227, 225, any canine on the channel. It's going to be a weapons call. Murray Road, off of Kelly's and Cantwell. Says a male shooting at the neighbor at
Roger, top.
10-4, supervisor on the channel.
I think so.
10-4. We're also getting a structure fire in for that 7300 block of Murray. Car heard popping noises, and then heard a boom, and then saying a house is on fire. They're saying it was 7 shots, a handgun, in reference to the first call that came in, and then we're getting a call for Kelly's Court for an explosion, and Kimberly Court and Murray for an explosion. All right, in reference to the first call that came in for Murray, is advising that she hears a female screaming, advised that they heard 3 shots at a male who lives at location. Hospital has a mental health disorder and has signs advising that the FBI is after him. And they also heard the explosion. It sounded like shake.
41 explosion.
Yes, 10-4. They're direct on it.
You want 244?
10-4.
I'll be on 243.
All right, stand by a second. I'm trying to do something, get these calls gone through.
So it's some pretty dark smoke from Mars.
All right, 10-4. Dark smoke in the area. Time is 6:43. We're just going to make fire aware of the shots fired call just in case it is for whatever reason.
27, it's a large clip coming out. 26 house from
All right, they see smoke in the area.
6 shots fired, shots fired, shots fired.
10-4, 10-3 is on the channel. Shots fired. Time is 6:44.
47, 1050 departmental.
10-4, 1050 departmental. 6:44. Any medic needed for that?
No, it's just me. Security and green gauge. I'm just going to jump in with somebody else.
10-4, security green gauge.
Where's he at?
26, where are you at with the shots fired?
26, shots fired, subject down.
10-4, shots fired, subject down. Time is 6:44. What's your exact location?
Maury and Kelly's.
Maury and Kelly. 10-4, subject found. 10-3 is on the channel. Get the medic sorry at 6:44. All units stand by.
Be advancing. Come on, quick.
First out, let me know.
Half minute sex delay. I got 2 subjects down.
All right, 2 subjects down. Time is 6:46 hours. 2 and address. All right, more shots fired.
Careful, we're getting couple medics out here. 3 people down.
All right, 2 people down. More shots fired.
3
no?
people.
All right, 3 people down. Signal 13. Time is 6:46 hours.
209, start Wilkinson, Franklin, and Pikesville, active shooter for now.
Right now we have the only active shooter. One house is fully engulfed, and we have another one getting on fire now.
All right, active shooter. One house is on fire, another one's on fire. Time is 6:46 hours.
Wilkins, we're all coming.
10-4, everybody's coming. We're getting Pikesville, Franklin, and Wilkins are started.
209, I need a staging area for medics. And a couple units at the staging area to guide them in.
All right, I need units at the staging area. Units on scene, are you still okay? Where's the shooter?
We have 1 shooter down. No confirmed second shooter. I think it's just the actual house that's blowing sparks.
All right, so 1 shooter is down. We have 3 total subjects shot and down. We have medics en route. 2 houses on fire. Possibly no active shooter at this time.
25, just check any of our personnel hit.
Any personnel hit, advise?
Negative, no police. Just a shooter.
All right, no police hit. Time is 6:48 hours.
209, did we shoot?
4. We had about 3 or 4 of us.
All right, 3 or 4 officers had shots fired. 28 go ahead.
All right, 10-4. I'm logging all of you.
All right, there was 2 units that tried to log on earlier. I was 10-6. What unit are you so I can get you logged on? 244, your ID.
739. I have 26 with me. We're going to be in my car.
10-4. 26, key up again.
15.6.
1526.
729. The one that's come down there.
209.
I think we've got it contained, but check with 25. I'm not on scene yet. 25, yeah, I'm just going up now. All right. Just check with the units, is that where they are at? I got fire personnel all out here.
They were at Murray and Kelly is where the first shots went. Where are the victims at? 26 are all victims at Murray and Kelly?
We have 2 victims now in front of.
So in front of 2 victims down. Where's the third?
Got 3 civilian victims and the suspect on the same location, Maury and Kelly.
All right, time for 3 civilians and 1 suspect. Time is 6:50.
There's a large clip coming up.
26 house fully engulfed.
22. All right, please be smoke in the area.
26 shots fired, shots fired, shots fired. Drop the gun, drop the gun, drop the gun! Go, 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 go! Move in, move in! DC!
Where's it? 26 word.
26 shots fired, subject down.
10-4, shots fired, subject down. 6:44, your exact location.
Maury and Kelly's, Maury and Kelly's. 1 subject down.
10-4, subject down, 10-3 on the channel, give them an insurance, 6:44, all stand by.
You pass him. Come on, give him quick. Back. He still got the gun. Push forward. Show me your hands! Hands! Pull him out! Grab his hand, pull him out! I'm coming. Have medics at 2 subjects down.
Alright, more shots fired. Where are you at? Shots fired.
26 shots fired, subject down.
10-4, shots fired, subject down. Time is 6:44. What's your exact location?
Maury and Kelly.
Maury and Kelly. 10-4, subjects down. 10-3's on the channel. Give them medics for it. 6:44. All units stand by.
Where's it? Where? Red truck! Down! Gun next to him! Gun next to him! Gun on the ground! Put your arms up! Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Pull him out! Grab his hand! Pull him out! Pull him out! I got him! Watch him! Pull him! Roll over! Roll over! Get him! Give me your arm!
And Pike Shield, active shooter for him.
I got him. Yeah, we gotta get him over to the house. Get him up. Put that down. Hey, we got 3 down. Hey, we got 3 down. Who's it here? Who's it? Baltimore County Police Department, open up! Hey, Beckett's! Get out! Don't go in there! Yeah, there's the guy in the black. The guy in the black's the shooter. In the street. Hey, Keller, go to the guns right by the red car. Put it. You good? Baltimore County Police. Anybody get here? Yeah. You get out of here. Let me. Get back! Put down now! Don't touch the gun! Don't touch it! Don't touch it! Pull him out! Pull him up! I got him! Go! Help him out! 20 shots fired. Careful, we need a couple medics out here. 3 people down. 3 people. Get her. 28 as of right now, we have the only active shooter. One house is fully engulfed, and we have another one getting on fire now. He's the only person in the house. But that's the gas man, but he blew it up. Huh? As of right now, it's just him. We gotta see who lives in that corner house. Hey, boss, who lives in this house? Come on, try to get them up. Come. I don't know, man. Baltimore County Police. Anybody else in here? Baltimore County Police. Yeah, we got the shooter. Hey, Baltimore County Police. Baltimore County Police. Anybody in here? Let's go. I'm standing right here. I'm standing right here. I don't know. I'm trying to call out to them. Baltimore County Police. Anybody in here? You get out of here. Come this. Yep. Yeah. Right? You all right, what?
Okay, so that was some chaotic shit. There's a lot going on with this one. Where to start? One thing that I'm not sure that a lot of people think about is what the dispatchers have to go through. They are the first contact for people who are experiencing some of the worst things in their lives. These are the first people that most people end up talking to. Sometimes people can flag an officer down when they're driving around, but for a good majority of people, they call 911, and a dispatcher is the first person they interact with. And that dispatcher has to listen to these people retell everything that they've witnessed. And sometimes the dispatchers have to, I don't want to say interrogate, but they essentially have to interrogate the information out of them, because these people are experiencing trauma and they are going through the fight or flight response, and their adrenaline is going and they're freaking out. So the dispatchers are having to deal with people under extreme emotional duress, and sometimes they have to pull that information out of them because the people can't think to freely talk on their own and tell them what they need to know. There's some critical information that dispatchers need to know. Number one being, where the hell are you? Then they have to get detailed information about who's hurt, who the person doing the harm is, direction of travel, etc. Lots of different things. And on top of that, not only are they having to draw this information out of the people, they're having to type it up into the CAD. They are having to, and it really depends on the dispatch center, but they may be taking the 911 call, and if it's a good dispatch center, another person can be listening into this call, and then start dispatching from their radio terminal while the 911 caller is still talking and everything. Sometimes it's a smaller dispatch center, and the person who takes the 911 call has to pause long enough to get on the radio and send that help out. So they're having to multitask and do multiple things at once. And when they start dispatching resources out there, then they have to pay attention to what those resources are doing and what they're saying and what's going on with them. So sometimes I just don't think that people give dispatchers the credit that they need. And they do a lot. And they have to endure a lot. They have to sit there and listen to people die sometimes. Sometimes they have to listen to people pass out and take their last breath when they're trying to get help on the way. They have to listen to people tell them that they're witnessing another person being murdered. They have to hear people screaming for their life. And all they can do is sit there and listen. And they can't do anything physically but type on a keyboard and press a little button and talk on the radio. That's the limit of what they can do. So the dispatchers have to go through a lot. And this dispatcher, I think, did a pretty good job handling the chaos. Multiple 911 call coming in, talking to the people who experiencing what's going on, dealing with the officers arriving on scene, etc. A lot of stuff going on here for this dispatcher. The people calling in, I have to say, the people who called in were relatively calm and collective. I've listened to other 911 calls, and people are not calm at all. They're screaming and yelling, and you can't make out what they're saying. Slide along here to the body cam footage. Okay. Oops. Of course, that doesn't.
There's a house where the man.
So this is the apartment complex area. We see the first officer, he pulls in and parks in about here. One officer, he parks roughly right around in here somewhere. And then we see the other officers pull in. One parks here. And this is when the officer is trying to motion him real quickly to keep moving. And then the one in the car juts past him really fast. So this is where the officers are. This vehicle right here, it almost looks like the suspect's vehicle. The one that had the sign on the back talking about racism, it almost looks like the same one. Now, I don't know if it's in the exact same spot or not. I'd have to... Yeah, it might be in the same spot. So we got stairs, and then parking spot. Yeah, I mean, it's practically in the same damn spot. So this could be assigned parking for these apartment complexes. Not really sure. That's pretty common with some apartment complexes. There are assigned parking spaces for people when they live in certain units. So this could be his assigned spot for all I know. But that looks like the suspect's vehicle right there. This is the part of the apartment that is on fire. When they go to the doors over here, this is the door that is open that the officer calls in at and then puts the bike in the doorway.
House fully engulfed.
Okay. They are responding to a call where they know shots have been fired. It is clear in the dispatch radio call. Weapons involved. Shots fired. First mistake I see is this officer gets out and does not have a rifle out and ready to put into play. Does he have a rifle? I don't know. I don't know at all if he has a rifle in that car or not. If he doesn't have a rifle in that car, then no fault to him because he doesn't have a rifle assigned to him. The fault then goes to the administration, whoever's in charge of that agency. Every officer needs a rifle. So if there was not a rifle in that car, then that's on the administration for not providing. That's on the elected officials in that community who approve budgets. If there was a rifle in his car, then the fault's on him. He should have got it out. He's in an SUV. Where can that rifle be? One of two places. One, it's in the cab up there with him, either in a little locking mechanism that's in between the seats and it sits vertical, or it could be in a roof ceiling mount type of option. Or it could be in a passenger seat configuration where it sort of rests in between the seats and locks in place. But traditionally, you mostly see in between the seats, kind of attached to the cage. It just sits in a vertical type of situation, I guess you could say. So it can either be in the cab of the vehicle or it can be in the cargo hold of the vehicle. If it was in the cargo hold of the vehicle, then what he should have done was pulled over before ever getting to the scene, pulled over long enough to get out, grab that rifle out of the back, bring it with him, put it in the cab with him, charge the charging handle, get it ready, and then proceed to the scene. That way, when he arrives, he can get out with a rifle in hand. If it was in the cab of the vehicle, same thing. He should have pulled over, got it out, charged it, and proceeded to the scene. Now, if he can multitask and drive and undo it from the mount and everything, yeah, okay, that's fine. If you can safely do that. Safe thing is just pull over real quick, dismount it, get it oriented, muzzle down, rack the charging handle, throw the sling over the neck in a one-point kind of configuration, let it kind of dangle right there in front of you. If you've got to take your seatbelt off and leave it off, do that. But have it charged and ready to go so that when you arrive on scene, you have a rifle ready to put into play. There's no waiting to get it. It's you open that damn door and you are dismounting with a rifle. Where he pulled up to on scene, he did pull up pretty close to the scene there. He pulled up, pretty much landed right there on the X. The one officer who parked a distance away, I liked his approach. He didn't get too close. He gave himself a reactionary gap distance there. This officer, he pretty much landed dab smack middle in the X. As soon as he gets out of his car and goes around to the back, contact. He's lucky the dude's not a good shot, or else he could have been shot.
26 shots fired, shots fired, shots fired. Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
Personally, at this point, if someone has already fucking shot at you, verbal commands go out the fucking window. Talking is done at this point. This dude just tried to kill you. There's no negotiating with him at this point. I don't know why people waste their time saying this stupid shit after they've been shot at. Someone has just tried to kill you. Why are you talking to them? You need to shoot them.
Go, 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 go! Move in, move in! DC!
All right. Right here where the cursor is circling is the suspect. Watch him. You're going to hear the gun go off, but watch him. That's a good shot with the pistol from this distance. It really is. Typical engagements are not this far. Like, he is I mean, it's hard to say what the actual distance here is, but I mean, that is not your typical pistol engagement distance. Like, he's a pretty good distance away. He comes up. He's got good two-handed grip. He's obviously doing front sight focus, and he squeezes that trigger. Let's see that one more time. Just pay attention to the gun. Pay attention to the gun. And the hands. Watch it. So he has good follow through. He's fired. He's getting these sights back on target, trying to acquire his next shot. Obviously, he loses somewhat sight of this guy. He's gone down. Let's watch this one more time. Beautiful shot. Beautiful. This is where training pays off. And not just training, but practice as well. Because once you've learned that skill, once you've learned that tactic, you need to go out and practice it. These are perishable skills. Your skills degrade over time if you don't practice it. If you've ever learned how to tie knots, beyond just, like a regular knot, like when you tie your shoes or whatever. If you've ever learned how to do figure 8 knots and a figure 8 follow through and butterfly knot and bowline, whatever kind of knot that's used in climbing or something like that. If you've ever learned how to use those or make those, and then you went a significant time without practicing them, were you able to tie that knot as quickly as you did after you had first learned it? Chances are probably not. Chances are you probably couldn't tie the damn thing again unless you've done it enough times to master that skill. Figure 8 knot. I can do that one-handed. I can do it with my eyes closed. I don't even have to watch what I'm doing when I'm tying a figure 8 knot. It's just second nature to me. I can do a figure 8 follow through one-handed. You just have to be able to do it enough times to master that skill. And he has taken the time to master his skill here. He's taken well to his training. He didn't just barely pass through. He didn't just meet the bare minimum requirements, in my opinion. He excelled at what he was being taught. He paid attention. He took it serious. And his actions show. He gets a great two-handed grip on this gun. We obviously know that he is doing front sight focus, and he has good trigger control. Squeezes that round off. Drops a dude from this distance. Like I said, this is not a typical pistol engagement distance. Usually it's a lot closer. A lot closer. And he's able to make this shot at this distance. And not only is he able to make this shot at this distance, but he's able to make this shot while experiencing fight or flight. His adrenaline is coursing through his body. His heart is just in tachycardy. It's just beating like a son of a bitch. And he makes this one nice crisp shot. That's a good shot.
26, shots fired, subject down.
10-4, shots fired, subject down. 646, sure exact location.
Maury and Kelly's. One subject down. Maury and Kelly's.
Sure exact location.
Subject down.
10-4, shots.
Now, it's hard to tell from the body camera what this guy's doing. It looks like he's moving around down here. I can't tell with much clarity, but obviously he can see, the human eye can see a lot better in clarity than what we can see through these cameras. But what he sees is this guy's still a threat. So he continues to deliver deadly physical force.
Fired, subject down. 646, sure exact location.
Maury and Kelly's. One subject down.
Now, one thing I would have liked to have seen is before moving for cover or after getting over here to this cover, I would have liked to have seen a tactical reload. He's already expended some rounds. Now he's moving closer to the threat. It would be better as he gets closer to the threat that he has a fresh mag in the gun.
You pass him. Come on, quick. Back. He still got the gun.
He's very mindful of his muzzle discipline. This officer's right here using this hood as cover. He comes up, takes his sight picture. As soon as the officer starts to move towards his muzzle, he drops that muzzle down. That's good muzzle discipline. That's good situational awareness of what's going on here. And I'll get to the part where the other officer is shooting around the other guy. Well, I'll wait for that part. But I want to talk about shooting close together. But I'll wait till I get to his part of the video.
Push forward. Show your hands. Hands. Pull him out. Grab his hand. Pull him out.
So obviously this dude has some kind of problem. Anytime I have ever seen anyone or dealt with anyone who puts these big ass signs on their vehicles, like, these dudes are freaking out there. Like, if you're putting big old posters on your car and it's not election season, like, it's not like, hey, elect me for blah blah blah. If it's some political statement or whatever, some big signage on there, that's a good sign you're dealing with someone who's not all there. I'm not really sure what is going on over here at the front of the house. I have no idea what that is. Exploding, I guess you could say, over here on the porch area. All right, so he knows he's on scene already. He knows he needs to turn this siren off.
All units stand by.
He gets his vehicle, or I'm sorry, he gets his door staged, ready and open. And then boom, park and bails. He doesn't pull up all the way onto the scene. He parks a safe distance away and proceeds forward on foot. That's the safest thing to do. You don't want to pull all the way up on the X.
Where's that? Where's that? Where's that? Yeah, where's that? 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 Where? Red truck! Red truck! Red truck! Red truck! Red truck! Truck! Red truck! Red truck!
I'm assuming he can see some of this guy's legs and stuff under the vehicle. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he can see, but he sees something and he engages.
Red truck! Red truck! Red truck! Red truck!
They obviously see enough to know that there's a threat. He fires the slide lock. That's not something that normally happens for officers. But he goes to slide lock. He moves in behind the vehicle to do his reload. He's going to take cover. All right. So this right here, watch this guy. All right. So yeah, I know this gun's, you know, they're close proximity to each other, right? I know that gun's close. It's probably pretty loud, but I don't think it's the loudness of it. I think this is probably more the concussion of the gun and this other officer being uncomfortable with the fact that this officer is firing so close to him. Also, one other thing. So his slide is locked back. Notice his thumb placement here. He does not intentionally drop that slide. The force of him seating that mag in winds up causing the slide to release and go forward. The majority of the time, when that happens, it does strip a round out of the magazine. But it's not 100% thing. Now, this is something people will argue. There's a couple different schools of thought on it. Some say you slam that magazine home and the slide drops, rock with it, because majority of the time it's going to be stripping a round out of the magazine. Way I've been trained and way I like to train other people is you seat that magazine, and if that slide rocks forward without you intentionally doing it, you go ahead and rack that slide just to be on the safe side. If a live round ejects, so be it. It's just one round. but at least you're behind cover and you know this gun is ready to rock. If, as he was doing this and he was driving this magazine in and the slide dropped before the magazine was all the way in and never stripped the round off, then if he would have stepped out here in the open, got a sight picture and pull trigger, got a dead gun out in the open. This is where firearms training and doing drills where people are moving and are closer to each other and are a little bit forward of people and behind people comes into play. So on a traditional range, everyone is on the firing line, and there's a 180 rule. And typically, everyone has to stay on that line. You can't have people walk a few feet forward and stand, and people stay on the line, and then people shoot near these people who are forward. We're not near them, not shooting near them, but I'll use so watch my mouse, I'll use the red line right here. Pretend this is the firing line right here. And, the target's this bush right there, right? Like we're looking down bird's eye view. So traditionally, the firing line's right here, everyone's standing there. And so if like you're this little arrow right in here and then someone's right here, traditionally you can't have someone go stand right there and then this person continue to be able to shoot towards the bush. Like they want everyone on this firing line for safety reasons. Okay, I can get safety, right? Especially for brand new shooters. But once you get to a certain point where people have started to develop these skills, you've identified that they're making good shots, you can start moving people around and start doing drills. If all your firearms training revolves around you standing on a flat line and no one is moving forward or doing any kind of movement whatsoever, you're not doing a real training. You're just plinking at this point. Once you've mastered some of the basics, the firearms handling and stuff like that, you have to start training on moving. And you have to start getting people comfortable with shooting near each other. So it's also common to see on a firing line, one person here, and then a couple feet of space or more, and someone's here. And then someone's down here. And then someone's down here. Very rarely will you see most places allow people on the shooting line to be right next to each other. And that's wrong, because that is not how real world operates. That is not a real 360 degrees right there. When you train to always be on this line and have safe distances between you and other people, you're setting yourself up for failure. A good firearms class, let me back that up. A good intermediate to advanced firearms class, like once you've learned the basics, a good intermediate to advanced class needs to involve the students moving around on the range while there is gunfire going on. You need to have one person just like this, where he's at. Let me back it up so we can get the frame. This is what you need to do on the range. You need to have drills where people are positioned like this. That way, on the range, they get to experience and feel what it's like to be just a little far forward of the muzzle and to feel the concussion come off that gun. Because I guarantee you, this is the reason why he moved. I would say he's probably never experienced this before. He's probably been, right next to someone side by side, maybe a couple feet between them, and that's the feeling the concussion off the gun like that is nowhere near the same as you being a little bit far forward of the gun. And so I suspect that the reason why he moved offline so quick is because he's never felt that before, and it probably kind of freaked him out or made him uncomfortable. So a good intermediate to advanced firearms class needs to have the students moving around and shooting. Now, I'm not talking like everyone starts off doing Chinese fire drill, moving around shooting. Like, you've obviously, just like everything else, you got to baby step it up. But it needs to involve students being closer to each other, some being forward of each other, some being back. If you're following the cardinal firearm safety rules, everyone's going to be fine. Right now, everyone's fine. Everyone's safe. His muzzle's pointed in a safe direction. His finger is going on the trigger when he's making his conscious decision to fire. He knows his target. The muzzle's not touching this officer. This officer's nowhere in front of this muzzle. This is a safe interaction here. And so you can do this on the range and it's safe. But there are just some people who are so close-minded, they have this scotoma, that they think that you can't do any training on the range unless that everyone is on this little line. And anytime anybody takes one step forward off this line, the gun's got to go back in the bucket. Hands got to be up, showing that you're not touching the gun. That's stupid. That is totally stupid.
Down. Gun next to him. Gun next to him. Gun next to him. Gun next to him. Gun on the ground. Gun on the ground.
So they're communicating to each other. Good communications, and they're pushing forward.
Come here! Come here! Come here! Come here!
209 just.
Get him!
So a lot of people ask questions or they complain when the police handcuff people after they've shot them. The reason why the police handcuff people after they've been shot is because sometimes people get back up and start fighting after they've been shot. Bullets are unpredictable. Just because you aim center mass at someone's chest and they're standing right there in front of you and you fire, it doesn't mean that round's going to go straight into them and through them like a laser beam. That bullet could hit the sternum and then deflect and go downwards and go down into their stomach. Or go left or go right. It could get lodged in the sternum. We don't have x-ray vision, so we don't know specifically what these rounds have done inside the body. We have no idea. And there have been times where people appeared to be incapacitated and they got back up and started fighting again. Pistol ammunition is pretty weak. It's still capable of incapacitating people. It's still lethal. It can still kill. But it's still a weak cartridge, especially in comparison to a rifle cartridge. The first officer on scene, I talked about a rifle. If this officer had gotten out with a rifle, and he was able to take that first shot and hit that guy with the rifle, this shit probably would have been done with after that first shot. Because as good as that officer was able to calm himself, get a good sight picture, and squeeze that trigger, man, if he would have popped that dude with a rifle cartridge, he'd have knocked his dick in the dirt. High probability of that. Rifle cartridges are devastating in comparison to pistol cartridges. There are a lot more people who can get up and walk away after being shot with a pistol than there are people who can do that after being shot with a rifle. Now, I'm not saying everybody dies after being shot with a rifle. There have been people who were lucky, and because, like I said, bullets are unpredictable, they got hit with a rifle and they lived. They got back up. There was a famous case out of Miami between the FBI and a couple bank robbers back in the 1980s. FBI went to go to conduct a felony traffic stop on these bank robbers, and a gunfight happened. The first robber, who was the driver of the vehicle, took a round to the head, and he became temporarily knocked out during this gunfight. But he woke up later during the gunfight, crawled out of his car, and then went back to one of the FBI agents' vehicle to get in it and try and take off in it. His buddy, after he got shot in the head, his buddy crawled out of the window, took a round to the side of his chest. That round went in and lodged into his heart area. It was a lethal hit. That guy was going to, for sure, die from that, but he did not immediately die from it because the round didn't go deep enough. He continued to crawl out of that car and fire his weapon, and he took more rounds. He got shot again, and he ended up killing 2 FBI agents and seriously wounding a few others. And then he got into the FBI vehicle with his buddy, and they both got taken down by an FBI agent. And even after being shot close range, they were still alive. They ended up dying, obviously. But after being shot multiple times, these dudes still alive. And so this is why officers will still handcuff people after they've been shot. Because in the past, there have been people who've been shot multiple times, and they got back up, and they continued to fight. Even for people who did not appear to be physically incapacitated. You know, they surrendered. You know, they appear to be mentally incapacitated, like they have no more fight in them. You know, they're, I give up, I give up. Those people were purposely pretending, they was playing possum, or the fear overwhelmed them at the beginning, but then it subsided, and then they got a little bit of courage, and then they started fighting. So that's why officers handcuff people after they've been shot, just to be on the safe side. And it makes it harder for that person to fight. It is hard for a person to effectively fight when their hands are cuffed behind their back. You try it sometime. Try to engage in a pillow fight with your hands cuffed behind your back. You're not going to win. I can guarantee you that.
Okay. Hey guys, we got a good one. Hey, we got 3 down. Who's it here? Yeah, there's a guy in the black.
So they have gone from one style of life-saving mode to going to a different style of life-saving mode. They had to engage in this gunfight with this guy, neutralize the threat, secure him, and now they're trying to get people out of these buildings to get them to safety. Like, this is a lot of stuff going on this scene. This is a hellacious, chaotic scene.
Right by the red car. Put it. Orange County Police. Anybody? back! Get
All right. Now this I like. You don't see this a whole lot. So take notice that he has leaned out from his cover and he engages the target. He drops back behind cover, and when he reemerges, he's at a different spot. He's not high anymore. He's low. So that's one thing to think about when doing your firearms training and you're working in and around cover. Change it up. I mean, it's like a game of whack-a-mole. If your target keeps coming out from this same spot, well, then you can gauge it just right and pop them when they come out. So if you are having to work around cover and you come out and you're high top side and you got to go back in for cover, the next time you come out, you need to be low and come out this way. Or if you can go to the other side, like on the other side of this vehicle, come out behind cover and still see the target, go out that way. That way you don't give a predictable movement to your opponent. Predictable moves can get you killed. Let's see that one more time. Beautiful.
Don't touch it! Come on. People, three. One house is fully engulfed, and
sadly, this is the only person I've seen who's got a rifle out. Except for this guy. I don't know who the heck this guy is. He's in regular street clothes. He could be an officer who's off duty, or he could be plain clothes. I don't know. He's obviously got a rifle in play. And I think that he was... Alright, so this is black shoes with green on them, blue jeans, black shirt. So let's go back to the officer who pulled up and parked in the street. So yeah, I think this is that guy. You know, I thought I had saw a rifle earlier, but I wasn't really sure. So I don't know who this guy is, and I don't know where he comes into play at during all this.
Subject found 10-3 on a channel. Get the medic story at 644. All units stand by.
Where's he at?
Yeah, really not sure where he comes into play at, how long he's been there or not. That's interesting. I don't know. He could have just showed up around the same time, or I don't know. Maybe he's concerned about getting too close to the scene because he's not in uniform. I don't know. So, this was obviously some type of, I don't know. See, this is where the definitions of stuff are a little bit murky. So this could be an active shooter type of incident, or this could just be a mass murder kind of incident. And they're both somewhat similar than the same. I don't know the relation of these people to him. I don't know if they were complete strangers or not. If they were just complete strangers, happened to be going around, then to me, that would meet what I would think should be the definition of an active killer, active shooter, someone who's just randomly targeting people and killing them. If these people were his family and stuff like that, although he did kill multiple people, I have a hard time labeling that as an active shooter, because in my mind, what I envision as an active shooter is something like Columbine, or the high school down there in Florida, or Sandy Hook. Like, those kind of things to me are clear-cut active shooter type of things. Some dude who snaps and kills his wife and kids inside the house. Technically, if you think about it and how active shooter is worded, then yeah, this guy's going around shooting people in an enclosed area, and kills multiple people. Yeah, that could kind of meet the definition of active shooter in a way. And some people do use that and say that's an active shooter, just like they say these gangbangers are active shooters. Crips versus Blood kind of bullshit going on down in the hood, and one of them rolls up on another at a block party and shoots at their rival gang. There's actually some anti-gun people who use that and say, oh, that was an active shooter incident. No, that doesn't meet the merit of what an active shooter definition needs to be. Things like Columbine, those are for sure active shooter type of incidents. And so this particular incident, I'm not 100% sure who these people are and what they are to him. It sounded like one of the people that they had dealt with outside was still making noises and they were still alive. Don't know what kind of injuries they had, if they even had survivable wounds. No idea. The person inside the house with the stab wounds and being shot. Like I said, I just don't know the extent to what these people's injuries were and if they were even going to survive them. The one that was kind of to the right of the house, or to the right of the red truck, they did not appear to be conscious or anything. The one to the left I thought was kind of conscious. I thought I remember seeing them or hearing them kind of making noise. Could they have survived if they had treatment rendered to them sooner? I don't know. I have no idea. I just don't know what their wounds were or anything like that. When it comes to medical treatment, pre-hospital care, there's a couple terms in relation to time that are used in EMS. One is platinum 10 and the other is golden hour. These are describing time frames in which you can render pre-hospital care to a person and increase their chances of survival. So the platinum 10, that's 10 minutes. If you can render medical aid to someone within 10 minutes of them incurring some type of traumatic injury, you increase their chances of survival by X%. What those figures are, I don't remember anymore. but you increase their chances of survival by a certain percentage. If you can reach a person and give them medical care and get them to the hospital in front of a doctor within an hour, the golden hour, then you've increased their chances of survival by X percent. And again, I don't know what those numbers are. You have to carry medical gear on you and in your vehicle. And I describe these as first line medical gear and second line medical gear. First line medical gear is stuff that you keep on you to be able to use for self-aid and to aid your buddies and or your family. It is very easy to carry just a minimal amount of medical gear to be able to provide self-aid to you. At minimum, you can carry a tourniquet. If that's the only thing you carry, then you are doing good. Because a lot of people, they just don't carry anything medical. They don't have anything medical related in their car. So if at bare minimum, you can get a tourniquet and carry it on you, then you're doing good. But you can do more. I have a video on my channel where I talk about medical ankle holsters. I highly suggest you check that out. You can get a medical ankle holster that has nothing in it. You just buy the holster itself, and then you can put little items in there, and you can wear this around your ankle just like you would a backup gun. And if you're in law enforcement or security and you carry a backup gun on your ankle, then there's really no reason why you can't get a medical ankle holster and carry medical gear on the other ankle. So you can buy an empty rig and then put stuff in it that you want in there, or you can buy a preloaded rig that has stuff in it and put it in the use right out the box. You can get little individual first aid kits, blowout kits, Vox, whatever. These things have varying degrees of items in them and different labels and names. Generally, basically what it is it's TCCC stuff. It's stuff to be able to treat severe hemorrhaging and deal with an airway. So they're going to have a tourniquet, probably going to have a pressure bandage, probably going to have compressed gauze, probably going to have a nasal pharyngeal airway or a decompression needle, stuff like that. There may be a variation of those things in there. It can even also have a chest seal in there. It can have a whole lot of stuff, or it can have a little bit of stuff just to meet those real minimal basic requirements. There are kits that are small enough to fit in your pocket, fit in a cargo pocket. If you wear an outer vest and it has MOLLE webbing on it and you can put pouches on there, there's no policy from your agency or your company saying what you cannot put on there. There's really no reason why you can't be carrying medical gear. I mean, if you're going to have a vest and have all these freaking pouches on there and rifle mags and look like you're about to go fucking invade Afghanistan, but you don't have a medical pouch on there, you're more fucked up than a football bat, and you need to unfuck yourself. There's kits that can be stuffed down into the opening of your vest. There's kits that can go on your belt, and it don't take up much room. You can get a tourniquet pouch to go on your duty belt, and it doesn't take up a whole lot of room at all. There's options out there for you to carry medical gear, and you need to carry medical gear on you. If you're going to carry the tools to induce trauma, you need to carry the tools to reduce trauma. You cannot rely on the ambulance provider to get to you on time. Response times for an ambulance can be 5 to 7 minutes. You can bleed out from an artery in 90 seconds. 90 seconds and you're dead. And then the ambulance shows up 5 minutes later. There's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do at that point if you've bled out. Even if they got blood on the truck. There's not, you're gone. There's not much they're going to be able to do for you at all. For those who aren't paid to carry a gun for a living, you're just a regular dude, regular woman, and you carry for self-defense. If your mindset for having a gun is because it takes too long for the police to respond, then that same mindset should carry over to medical gear. You should carry medical gear because it takes too long for an ambulance to respond to you. Whether you're police, security, or just armed citizen, if you carry a gun, you need to have medical gear. If you carry a gun, then you should recognize the fact that you could be involved in a gunfight. And if you can recognize the fact that you could be involved in a gunfight, you have to realize the reality of it and the possibility that you could be shot. Bullets go both ways. And if you get shot, would you like to be able to save yourself? Or do you want to wait for the 5 to 7 minutes for the ambulance to get there? Do you want to sit there and watch your buddy bleed to death? Watch your family member bleed to death for the 5 minutes it takes an ambulance to get there? And even when the ambulance gets in the area, they're not going to pull straight up to the fucking scene and get out. They're going to stage 2 blocks away until the scene is clear, until the scene is deemed safe for them to go in there. So now it takes them 5 minutes to get in the area, and now another 2 minutes before they're told the scene is clear for them to come in. You have to carry medical gear on you. First line medical gear. And when it comes to first line medical gear, that stuff is used, in my opinion, it should be only used for you, your teammates, and your family. Nobody else gets to use this. The only 2 exceptions to this is if you are 100% sure that there is no more fighting to be had, then you can use it on someone else. So let's go back to this scenario of what's going on here. This guy is shooting at the police, and they're having to shoot at him, and he goes down. And let's say that they drag him out, and they go put a tourniquet on his leg, and this is the only tourniquet in play. Only one person brought a tourniquet to this fight, and they put a tourniquet on his leg, and then his crazy ass buddy comes out the house with like a modified machine gun, or hell, it don't have to be a machine gun. It'd just be another pistol like he had. But he has a crazy ass buddy that comes out and starts shooting. And you or your buddy take a hit in the leg, and you got a femoral hit. And that blood's squirting out with every heartbeat. What are you going to do? Are you going to take that tourniquet off that bad guy and put it on you, or put it on your buddy? Probably not. I mean, no. I mean, that's probably not going to happen. So that's why I say first line medical gear is only for you, teammates, and family. Everyone else can wait. The only 2 exceptions to that is if you are 100% sure there is no more fighting to be had. And in this kind of scenario, if they had started to put medical gear on this guy, this is a scenario where they're not sure if there's not any more fighting to be had, because there could be a crazy ass dude lingering around and come right back out. The second exception, and this is kind of a personal exception, the second exception is if it's involving little kids. Little kids, they don't have bank accounts. They don't have jobs. They can't go out and buy this stuff on their own. Adults, they have choices. They have options. just like you and I, they can choose to go watch videos about preparedness. They can choose to go take a CPR, AED, first aid class. They can choose to take classes on pre-hospital medical care. They can choose to go to a website and buy a tourniquet and buy medical gear. They have those choices. Little kids, they don't have that choice. They don't have jobs. They don't have bank accounts. They don't have credit cards. They might obviously, be able to use mom's credit card and stuff. But they don't have access to this shit. Little 10-year-olds aren't going to be walking around with tourniquets. So that's one of my only exceptions is kids. Even if there's other fighting to be had, a little kid will break that exception for me. Everyone else, adult, fuck them. They can wait. Hey, you had the same opportunities in life as I did. You could have bought yourself a fucking tourniquet. I ain't wasting my shit on you when there could be some more fighting to be had. If I take a fucking round, no, I'm saving myself. I'm selfish, right? I can admit that. Everyone's selfish. They don't like to admit it, but everyone's selfish. But I'll say I'm fucking selfish. I want to continue living. If you're an adult, you have the same opportunities as I. You should have bought your own shit and got your own training. So first line medical gear. Stuff stays on you and it is reserved solely just for you, your teammates, and your family. Second line medical gear is the stuff that you can keep in the car. If you have medical gear and you don't carry any stuff on you, but you have medical gear in the car and you got the mindset of, if I need it, it's in the car, you're wrong. You are wrong. What if you can't get back to your car? What if you're pinned down under gunfire? What if you had to get out and chase someone and now you're 2 blocks away from your car? What if someone steals your car? If you're 2 blocks away and you're pinned down by gunfire and you or your buddy are bleeding to death and your medical kit's in your car, that damn car might as well be parked in China. It is parked ROW, rest of the world. It is not on you. But on top of having your first line medical gear, you should have your second line medical gear, the extra stuff that you keep in the car that you can get to be able to utilize to supplement what was on you and that you've already used. That second line medical gear is the stuff that you can use on everyone else. That's the stuff that you can use on the guy that you had to use deadly physical force against. They can wait for you to go back to that car and get that medical gear. If they wanted to pull a gun out and start shooting at you, and you had to use deadly physical force to protect yourself and others, and they went down, they brought that shit upon themselves. They can wait the extra minute that it takes for you to get to your vehicle, get that second line medical gear out, and put it into play for them. Don't waste your first line medical gear on anyone else. Bad guys don't always work alone. Another crazy asshole could be around the corner and come out fighting, and whatever critical medical gear that you put into play on a bad guy is done with. Once it's contaminated, it's contaminated. Once it's in play, it's in play. You take a hit and you have no more medical gear on you to use because you used it on a bad guy, that'd be a pretty damn shitty way to die, in my opinion. Having the medical gear is only one part of the solution. You have to have the knowledge on how to use that medical gear. Just like you have to have the knowledge to be able to use your self-defense tools. You can't just go out and get a gun and have never trained or practiced with it whatsoever, never shot it, and start carrying that gun for self-protection. If you do that crap, you are wrong. If you recognize the fact that that's a bad idea, then you should also recognize the fact that it's a bad idea just to buy medical gear but never train on how to use it. You need to know how to use this stuff. And just watching a video on it is not good enough. Yes, You can watch a video on how to apply a tourniquet and get a good idea on how to put one on, but you need to practice this stuff. You need to get a training tourniquet and practice putting it on yourself. If you've never put a tourniquet on by yourself, if you've never had to put a tourniquet on your left arm by yourself, then you have no idea the slight difficulties that's involved with it. Would you rather figure it out in the training environment, or would you rather try to figure it out in real world after being shot? That's a no-brainer. You want to figure that shit out in the training environment. And you want to practice that in the training environment just like you practice shooting the gun in the training environment, so that you become proficient with it. That way, when real-world applications happen, you can do it flawlessly. Just like that first officer on scene here at the very beginning when he got out of his car and he got a good sight picture on this guy, and had good trigger control and got that one shot on the dude. You get one shot. Make it flawless. That's about it on this video. I don't have anything else to say. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.